Now, this is a long time coming. I'm super excited for you. What does it feel like to have this film be done?
I don't know that it's done. I mean, Billy, this has been a battle all the way to the end. I mean, even as we speak right now, this is unprecedented in movie history. There are numerous movie theaters that don't even know how many screens movies coming out next week are going to have. I mean, when we chose this release date of April 14th, there was one other movie coming out. We made this choice at the end of January. It wasn't like we chose a year ago. Now there's 5 movies coming out that day. The next week, another 5 movies are coming out. The next week, another 3. It's almost like someone's trying to block this movie, And so, I mean, we are in hand-to-hand combat right now for screens. And so, like a half an hour ago was the first time that this actually began to be fun, okay? Because this has just been a battle all the way through, but God has been beyond faithful. The doors that He has opened to make this happen. I mean, there are people here tonight that don't want to be singled out because behind the scenes, they put their thumbs on the scale to make this happen because they really believe in the movie that people are about to see and the potential impact it has. And so a lot of times when we talk about spiritual warfare, it's only from the dark side of the street. I mean, it's been the most faith-affirming exercise of my life, watching God respond with the doors He's opened and the things that only He could make happen.
You are somebody who everybody knows, radio, you're an author, but what made you want to write about evil? Because you could have written about anything, right, and you chose this topic.
Well, I work in politics, Billy. So evil is what I do every day.
It's actually much more close to home.
Yes. This is a documentary. It's just well acted. No, seriously, my first ever trip to Washington, D.C., and I went there to do a publicity tour for my first wide release book, and I was in the shower, and in the back of my head, this voice shows up and says, "This book is dedicated to all the useful idiots out there, especially those of you who had no idea you were being used all this time, for you proved to be the most useful idiots of them all, Nefarious." And I thought, that's weird, And so I went and did my appointments. I get back to my hotel room, and I just start writing, and I realized this is like a Screw Tape Letter sequel. And in any sequel, the threat's got to be bigger, And so instead of just the temptation of individuals, what about the takedown of an entire culture? And I realized that I came to Washington, D.C. to get inspired to write a book about a demonic takeover of America, because literally, where else in America is there a better place to get inspired about a demonic takeover of America than Washington, D.C.? Yes.
When you look at the culture, when you look at what is happening, and I've known you for a while now, what goes through your heart and your mind when you think spiritually about what is actually happening before us right now?
So I married off my oldest daughter last fall. My youngest daughter is going to graduate from high school here in a couple of months. My son, who has way more writing talent at 16 than I ever had. But I'm going to have grandkids. I start looking at the future. And I think cultures that are in the tailspin that we're in right now don't have long-term futures. And so I'm worried about that. And the number one worry that we all have, every one of us that worked on this project, to some degree, I mean, we all came at this with a diverse portfolio of belief systems. Even, I put the fun in fundamentalism. I worked tightly with 2 guys who are as Catholic as you can possibly get, right? We all have one thing in common. America right now is at the lip of the mouth of madness. And it's about to belly flop into the pit. And that's a jump that when a culture makes it, doesn't come back. That's Romans 1 kind of stuff. And so we're all very concerned and so my own company spent millions more dollars on this movie than it ever spent on me, leveraged everything we had to try to throw one last bazooka shot across the bow and see, could we make something that looks and sounds like the kind of thriller that the culture loves, but comes from our worldview, that we might actually, scare the hell into people again.
Oh, I love that. Scare the hell into people. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Man. Thank you very much.